This video might be the most important video of your entire life. I'm not even trying to be dramatic, but I need y'all to watch the entire video and take notes. We're gonna go over 3 steps to identify your business niche. We're heading into 2024. Christmas came early. You know what I'm saying? Christmas been coming early a couple times this year. If y'all saw my last video where we talked about that. But I need y'all to really take action on what I'm saying, because like times are tough right now, times are rough. You might be going through economic crisis right now. So this is the time to actually take action on everything I'm saying. Like if you've like been for years not listening to what I've been saying, or you've been passively listening and you haven't been taking action, now is literally your time to reset everything and do it for the better. If you want to die poor, click off my video. If you want to die poor, click off my video. If you want to make the best decision that you can make in your entire life, arguably, watch the entire video and do what I say, especially if you're working a 9-to-5 job that you don't love. I'm going to get into the presentation. I'm about to turn off my camera. If y'all want to see my beautiful self, go ahead and go to my IG, but I just don't want any like lag or anything. So sometimes that tends to happen with the camera and stuff. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let's get started. So pay attention, take notes, do everything you need to do. All right, I'm still here with y'all. So let's go ahead and begin. So just a disclaimer, the following presentation's focus is primarily awareness-based, right? So I'm just letting y'all know what's going on. I'm letting y'all know what's going on for the sake of awareness. I'm gonna give you resources as far as being able to do independent study at the end of the training, at the end of the video, whatever you wanna call it. So get out your notepad, and you know the resources you're gonna get it's gonna be free. So keep that in mind. I know a lot of y'all like free, but most of y'all. All right, so let me know where you are tapping in from. Where are you tapping in from? Go ahead and comment it below. I know this isn't live, but I just like interacting, and I feel like y'all could interact more. So go ahead and let me know where you're tapping in from. All right, so just a quick intro on me, like if you're new or if you just don't know who I am. So my name is Michael Benjamin. I am a God-made hustler. A lot of people say that they're self-made. I don't believe in all that. I'm God-made. I'm a credit mentor, serial entrepreneur, author, speaker. I was born in Inglewood, California. I am Nigerian. Shout out to all my Nigerians. I'm a Yoruba angel, you feel me? So if you know about the different tribes, I'm Yoruba. All right, so I retired my job. I used to work as a chemical engineer, and I basically was able to leave based off of starting, growing, and scaling a credit repair business. And throughout my years in the industry, I know what works, I know what doesn't work, and I'm continuing to learn every day. I'm also a mentor, and I help people start, grow, and scale their own credit repair business to help add an extra 5 to 10K a month to what they got going on, right? And I feel like if somebody's a mentor, they gotta have mentors. I have multiple mentors that I'm still investing in, so I'm not one of those mentors that just is stagnant, right? So keep that in mind as well, just to give y'all a little bit of context of who is giving you the presentation. So I'm not supposed to be here. When I say I'm not supposed to be here, it might sound crazy, but I'm being serious. When I say I'm not supposed to be here, I need y'all to realize that when I was in preschool, my teachers, they tried to put me in special education for not speaking. They would literally call on me. They'd be like, Michael, what do you think about this? I would look at them. Michael, what do you think about that? I would look at them like they had something on their face, like they were crazy or something. So I say that to say, everything I'm gonna tell y'all today, from the mindset to the practical things, if I could do it, getting out of my situation to where I was able to begin speaking, 2018, 2019, I got my first paid speaking engagement. If I'm able to overcome all of that, all those obstacles, you know, the chip on my shoulder, I need y'all to realize that you can, in fact, do what I'm gonna tell you. You can, in fact, get over that relationship. You can, in fact, make more money, you know, however it applies to you. Just keep that in mind. I just need y'all to, just as a foundation, to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not even supposed to be making this video. I'm not even supposed to be doing any types of speaking engagements or anything, but I'm here, God willing. All right, so fast forward. I got out of that whole situation where I wasn't speaking, and then I wrote this book called The Power of Yet. So The Power of Yet, it basically is a fiction personal development book. And the main thing I wanted to bring up about it is it goes over this young girl. She's Nigerian, and she wasn't speaking as well. So she literally passed out from speaking. So it's like a dramatic version of what was going on with me. So she goes through that. and she had a mentor, which is her dad, and he gave her a specific quote. Now I want to relate to y'all. The quote was, "If you're misguided and undecided, knowledge and wisdom can be provided." If you're misguided and undecided, knowledge and wisdom can be provided. Not that it will be provided, it can be provided. What do I mean by that? If you're misguided, some of y'all watching this right now are misguided. You don't know where you're going in life. We're heading into 2024. You still don't know where you're going in life. It's okay though. You just have to accept what it is and make an adjustment. You have to make that pivot, right? If you're undecided, some of y'all are undecided right now. Some of y'all are on the right path, but you're undecided. You're like, I don't know if I should go here. I don't know if I should go there. I don't know if I should leave my 9 to 5. I don't know if I should start this business. I don't know if I should take that risk. I don't know. Some of y'all are undecided. If you happen to be misguided, if you happen to be undecided, knowledge and wisdom can be provided, right? What's knowledge? Knowledge is the accumulation of information. What I'm gonna give y'all today. What's wisdom? Wisdom is the application of the information. If you listen to everything that I'm saying today and you do nothing with the information, you might as well have not paid attention. You might as well have not, done anything. So I need y'all to understand, at the end of the day, it comes down to you. You have to give yourself permission to be able to go to that next level. You have to give yourself permission to be able to be a hustler. You have to give yourself permission to be able to succeed. You have to give yourself permission to be able to make more money. You have to give yourself permission to change your mindset. So keep that in mind as we go through the presentation. So the economy is bad and you need more money. Everybody needs more money, right? The economy is terrible right now. It's a storm, but the storm is gonna get better. It doesn't last forever. We just have to make the necessary adjustments to cope with what's going on. So you need to start a credit repair business as soon as possible. I'm gonna help you define your niche today. Like literally right here, right now, I'm gonna help you define what your niche is gonna be. Because a lot of people just hear credit repair business and then they just get scared, like, oh dang, credit repair business, it sounds so complicated, this, that, and the third. But there's different ways to actually get involved, and we're gonna talk about that. All right, why do you need to start a credit repair business? It is a high income skill, right? That's number one. Everyone needs credit at some point. And the current storm that we're in is making credit even more relevant. What do I mean by that? People are misusing their funds. So now they get in negative stuff on their credit, but they still need to be able to get take out loans and things like that. So they need someone with a high skill set, a high income skill set that can help them delete those items. That's where credit repair comes into play. All right, so you got to know yourself, self-awareness, DISC assessment, self-awareness. This is the very, very important part of the presentation, so I need you to pay attention. So the DISC assessment, it's a personality test. It doesn't necessarily say who you are. It just says how you operate. It doesn't necessarily say who you are. It says how you operate. How you operate is important to business, especially if you've never ran a business. You got to understand who you are and how you actually operate. So let's start off with the D. Pause. So D is dominant. So there's someone that's they're a driver, competitive, they're a doer. They're an action taker, right? So that's the D. The I is influential, right? This is somebody that's outgoing. They are a people person, they're persuasive. They're just like, they're like the life of the party. Like they get a kick out of talking to people, being around people, that kind of thing. Then we have the S. This is a steady person. They're like the team player, right? They're also people oriented. They're patient, things like that. And then the C is somebody that is, they're compliant. They go by procedures, following rules, systems, right? So they're very cautious. They're task oriented. So the D and the C are task oriented. I and the S are people oriented. So keep that in mind. These are different personality styles. Just to give y'all a little bit of context too. Y'all know if you've been following me, I'm the CEO of CAT, Consumer Ammunition Tactics. So I'm actually a high D and a high S. So technically I'm what they would say is a contradiction. You know what I'm saying? But that just happens to be my dominant personality. It's like I'm an action taker as far as a dominant, but I'm also a team player. I'm also patient as far as the S. So it's technically like contradicting personalities, but it works to my favor in terms of how I'm able to run our business. So keep that in mind. So your action item, write this down. You're gonna take a DISC assessment test as soon as possible. You can literally Google a free one if you want. I'm a big believer in investing in yourself. So if you can invest in yourself with one, go ahead and do all that. But go ahead and take a DISC assessment test, and see how you operate. All right, so a profitable credit repair business is like a machine. I need y'all to understand that it includes the following pieces. You got your operations team. This is the COO or CEO. If you're just starting your business, you're typically going to wear both of those hats. Marketing team has a sales team. It has a dispute team. But I understand that some of y'all are just working that 9 to 5 and you don't actually want to be like a business owner. You could still be part of this whole credit repair machine, right? You don't have to be the CEO, right? So just keep that in mind. The reality though is that you should know how to perform all of the roles, but leveraging people can help bypass that. So leveraging people is typically what you're gonna do as a CEO. I definitely encourage everybody to aspire to be the CEO, at least in the beginning. And then if you feel like, okay, dang, I wanna give it to somebody else, then you can do all that. So the D is typically, their primary focus is being a visionary. They manage the day-to-day and high income activities that's gonna move the business forward. So that's typically operations, right? So you see, based off what we talked about on the last slide. The primary focus is content creation. Remember, they're the people person. For example, they could be a podcast host, hosting live classes or trainings. So they're gonna be dealing with marketing and sales. The primary focus of the S is being a team player. They basically are cleaning up anything that the team lacks in. That's gonna help reduce stress and increase capacity. And then we have the C. The primary focus is developing systems and automations and disputing. So like I said, you should know how to perform all of the roles. So me, for example, I'm obviously, the high D. I'm the visionary of my company, but I'm also the content creator. I'll see I'm creating content right now. I'm a podcast host, right? As far as the CAP podcast. I've done live trainings, things like that. So you see I've played in the I position as well. The S, I'm definitely that team player, picking up on any slack that needs to be done. And then the C, I know how to dispute, but obviously, I have a team. When you're scaling, I put people in position to be able to act as me, and doing the actual disputing. So keep that in mind. It's good to be able to know how to do all the roles, and that will really make sure that you build a really profitable business. You want to look at it as like a machine. So your action item is to not only figure out your dominant personality style, but apply your unique superpower towards covering all the departments that need to be covered. Very simple. If you're a high D, okay, you know that your superpower is the CEO. Let's say you're a high C. You're somebody that's dealing with systems. I'm not saying that you shouldn't still be the CEO, because you still should, right? Because it's your business. If it's your business, if you're joining someone else's business, that's where the systems comes in place. It's really your choice, right? As far as your niche. If you're just a C, you don't want to be the face of it. Like, you don't want to be an I, you don't want to be a D as far as visionary. You could literally just come up with systems and help other credit repair business owners, right? So just think about, based off of your unique superpower, how can you cover these departments? You might have to work with somebody else, right? Maybe you're just not a CEO. Maybe you're not a boss. I know not everyone's meant to be a boss, but keep that in mind. So there is a shift happening. So I've been in the industry since 2021, and I got a prediction for the direction that the industry is headed towards. So credit repair in 2024, this is what it looks like to me. You have to understand how to use consumer law. So there's different ways to dispute. There's factual dispute. There's Metro 2. I'm going to give you a few laws, or a couple laws, to clean up your own credit or help other people. So keep that in mind. You have to prioritize. You have to prioritize developing a personal brand. Content creation is a non-negotiable. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. This is why, even if you're not the CEO, whoever's the CEO, well, let's say you're the CEO. Let me frame it different. Let's say you're the CEO, but you don't want to be in front of the camera. You better get someone that's a likable person that they can know, like, and trust. Because y'all see, like, I'm the face of my business as far as the content creation. Because nobody wants to see infographics all day. If y'all didn't see my face, if y'all didn't see me creating the content, y'all wouldn't trust us as much as y'all do, right? You might not even realize that you trust us more than you actually do, because we've shown over time, we are to be trusted. Our results, we've shown, giving y'all so much free information, so much free valuable information. It's like your subconscious mind automatically has a level of trust towards us, automatically has a level of knowing towards me, right? I've spoke about in previous videos about like dates I've been on and things like that, right? So like y'all have gotten some of my personal life in terms of that, right? So that's the no factor. The like factor, a lot of y'all that resonate with me, those of y'all that are business mindsets, those of y'all that are bosses, I know that you like me because we relate in terms of our mindset. Poor people, they tend to run away from me because they just have a poor mentality. They just have the mentality of being entitled. They just have the mentality of asking 9 to 5 questions, right? So that just goes back to the no like trust factor. All right, so a couple of laws I wanted to talk about. So 15 USC 1681B. If you're new for whatever reason, you don't know anything about consumer laws. There's consumer laws. They will help you remove negative items from your consumer report or your credit report. And the reason why it's powerful is because we're using the law that Congress put out. So in the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, 15 USC 1681, that's what it's called. 15 USC 1681B is called the Permissible Purposes of Consumer Reports. Permissible purposes of consumer reports. So I want y'all to go down to A2, right? So it says subject to subsection C, any consumer reporting agency. So this is referring to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and the secondaries, etc. May furnish a consumer report under the following circumstances and no other. So what does that mean? They can only do it based on these conditions. Number 2 says, in accordance with the written instructions of the consumer to whom it relates. So this law is very, very powerful in getting negative items deleted because of the fact that you didn't give these credit bureaus written consent to go ahead and put these negative items on your report, right? They just took it upon themselves to go ahead and put it on there. And y'all got to realize, like, they get paid to be reporting negative items, so they're not going to follow the rules. So this is why it's up to you to call it out. You got to think about it like, if you're driving right now and you're texting, technically you broke the law, but you didn't get caught if there's no police officer looking at you, right? You broke the law though, but you just didn't get caught. It's the same thing that the credit bureaus are doing. They're breaking the law, but people just aren't calling it out. So that's the easiest way for me to describe it to y'all. And there's so many laws to remove stuff. So when we talk about like collections, for example, number 1 thing you always want to do is send a debt validation notice, and you would use the FDCPA law, so 15 USC 1692G, right? Validation of debt. So just keep in mind that there's so many laws. I'm just giving y'all like a overall umbrella law because this is technically applicable to like any item, right? So keep that in mind. The next law, 15 USC 1681C-2. Block of information resulting from identity theft. Let's pause right there. A lot of people, when they see identity theft, they think about like, wait, identity wasn't stolen. We have to go to the Federal Trade Commission website, the FTC website. It defines identity theft as without your consent. So this is why we use permissible purpose to lead to the 1681C-2 block of information resulting from identity theft. And then that leads into willful noncompliance. I don't have it in the presentation, but that is 1681N, right? When we go into negligence, 1681O. So you got to understand that it's steps that these violations are leading to. These 2 laws lead to the violation where you can get them under civil liability. And when I say get them, I mean if you happen to take them to court, if they don't want to remove the negative item, because they're going to make it hard for you to remove the negative item. So keep that in mind. So it basically says, when you identify something as an alleged identity theft, it should be removed no later than 4 business days after the date of receipt of the following, right? So 1 through 4, appropriate proof of the identity of the consumer. So that's you identifying yourself, ID, social security card, all that, right? A copy of an identity theft report. So this goes back to what I said about the FTC. You go to the FTC website, you create an identity theft report, you let them know like, okay, this is what I'm disputing, this is what you didn't get consent to put on my report, etc. The identification of such information by the consumer. So information you're disputing. So if that is hard inquiries, that's a late payment, collection, whatever it is, right? So you're pointing that out. And you want to put this information in the actual dispute letter as well. And then number 4 is a statement by the consumer that the information is not information relating to any transaction by the consumer. So just explaining that the information was not authorized by you, the consumer, right? So keep that in mind. These are just some laws you want to know. Be able to remove pretty much any item off your report. When we get into content creation, You're going to be given a resource for your own studying at the end because content can be a whole separate training. But I want y'all to check out the book Contagious. It really helped me as far as my content creation because it just reaffirmed a lot of what I've already been doing, my content. And one of the things is just being aware of triggering people in a positive way, a negative way, just triggering people in a way that's going to make them take an action that you want them to take. A lot of this stuff is just understanding human behavior. And when you can understand human behavior, you're going to make more money. All right, now let's break down the 3-step framework to help you make this credit repair machine function properly. So step 1 is believe, right? So Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, he said, anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. What does that mean? Anything the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. If you believe you could do something, then you can do it. If you believe you cannot do the same thing, then you can't do it, right? So believe is about the mindset. In The Power of the book that I wrote, I spoke about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Poor people have a fixed mindset. Rich people have a growth mindset. When I say poor people, I'm not talking about an amount of money. I'm talking about the way that they think. Poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. It could be somebody that got $1 million to their name, but they're just super cheap. They don't want to invest in themselves. It's a poor mentality, right? So because they just believe that they can't do something. If you're scared to invest a small amount of money, any amount of money, you don't believe in yourself. It's not always necessarily about the program or the person or whatever, right? It's you not believing in yourself. So growth mindset, rich people have a growth mindset. Rich, successful entrepreneurs, they have a growth mindset. Your word creates your world. The same thing. This is why you don't want to say anything negative. You don't want to say words like I am broke. You don't want to say I can't, stuff like that. If I say something like that, like the way I program myself, my subconscious mind doesn't even register that. So the way I even just said it now as an example, my subconscious mind didn't even it didn't process it as something that's reality. Your word creates your world. So you might as well delude yourself into believing that you could do what you set out to do. On top of that too, one thing that helped me as far as, just being able to leave my 9-to-5 job and just being able to build a profitable credit business was saying that I'm something before I'm something. So I have a phrase where I said I was before I was. I said I was before I was. So whatever I aspire to be, right? And the crazy thing is, after I got my bachelor's degree in chemical engineering, I thought my education ended there. But I recently figured out that my education didn't end there. I got a master's degree. I got a PhD. I got a master's degree in Michael Benjamin. I know myself, right? Self-awareness. Going back to what we spoke about earlier. I got that master's degree in Michael Benjamin. I got a PhD in prophecy. Spoke it into existence. Believe in myself. So I need y'all to understand. Go get that master's. Go get that PhD. You can do it. The belief also goes into the credit repair process. Believing you are competent and can and will get any negative item deleted from your credit report. If you don't believe it, nobody's going to believe it for you. So keep that in mind. Believe is very, very important. A lot of people might be like, oh, mindset, but mindset is very, very important. Keep that in mind. Step 2 is plan, right? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So now we go into the style of actually performing the service. So there's different ways to actually dispute negative items. So there's consumer laws, factual dispute in Metro 2. We're focusing on consumer laws because that's the most powerful and it can actually stand in court. Structure, disputing your personal information and negative items while implementing the sandwich method. The sandwich method is something I created, and it basically gives you the correct, a good structure basically to be able to draft up a good dispute letter. Like I said, at the end, you're going to get information as far as independent studying. So keep that in mind. Strategy, you're going to mail your letter certified mail and do a CFPB complaint. If you don't know what the CFPB is, it's a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And basically they're supposed to monitor the credit bureaus. They're like the regulators of the credit bureaus. There's other resources that also monitor them, but yeah, for now, just keep that in mind. Performing a CFPB complaint is important. Step 3 is execute. It's literally taking action on a plan you set out. You make a decision on who you decide to be. You can be 3 things. You can be a quitter, you can be a camper, you can be a climber. Quitters, they have a poor mentality. They got a poor mindset. They're conditional hustlers. You can't just want to succeed sometimes. You can't want to succeed when your partner motivates you, when your friend motivates you. That's what we call a conditional hustler, right? Conditional hustlers are people that are quitters. They're going to get motivated today. They're going to be done tomorrow when nobody's there to motivate them, right? You got to have it in you. Everything is a scam to a quitter, right? So keep that in mind. Campers, this is very pivotal. They're on the verge of quitting. They're also on the verge of climbing. So some of y'all listening to this right now, you may be campers. I need y'all to realize you need to just continue climbing and get to the top of that mountain. That mountain can symbolize success. It can symbolize getting that negative item deleted. It can symbolize whatever it means to you. It can symbolize starting that business. Climbers, they execute as fast as humanly possible. I'm personally a climber. I don't know about y'all. All right, so I want to give you a free gift. So your free gift is my Credit Repair Business Gems playlist. So this is a compilation of over 30 videos at this point to help you start, grow, and scale your own credit repair business, and includes videos on how to make at least 10K a month with your credit repair business, marketing strategies to attract your ideal customers, because a lot of credit repair business owners, they don't know how to market, they don't know how to run a business. So this is why I created this playlist. Case studies with my students that I literally helped make 10K in a month, right? So I walked through with them their journey of getting with me in my mentorship program and how it helped them make 10K in a month. You get a 2-hour webinar too on how to clean your own profile and acquire 100K in funding in 90 days. And there's even more. So just keep that in mind. If you want to grab that, your action item is to text YouTube to 914-353-4741. Text YouTube to 914-353-4741. Begin binge watching the YouTube and execute as fast as humanly possible. If you got value from today, make sure you share it with somebody. 2024 is on the way. It's not going to be sweet for, people that got a poor mentality. It's not going to be sweet for people that are lazy. It's not going to be sweet, right? It's going to be sweet for people that are action takers, people that take action as fast as humanly possible. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment. If you can't leave a comment as simple as like when I said where y'all tapping in from, then you're not built for this. Just keep working that 9 to 5 until you die. If you want to die poor, that's cool too. But at the end of the day, those of y'all that are action takers, we gonna go to the next level. We're gonna keep climbing to the top of that mountain. That being said, y'all have a blessed one.